Well, here we are again with Chief Ann, Little Fawn, and I have, well, I threatened her, and then she threatened me back to tell us proverbs that they is their tradition here in the Rappahannock tribe. So she's going to tell us a few of them, and I paid her very handsomely. I paid her some healing tobacco and a little basket, and then this silly feather. But that's about all she'll get for pay.
It was a great present, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Very powerful tobacco. So we had these things that I call them proverbs because I don't know what else to say.
That's fine.
They're sayings in our tribe, and they were like little sayings that your parents would release to you over certain situations that you might be in. And these little drops of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of my favorite is like the beginning proverb says, if you don't know where you came from, you can't possibly know where you're going. So that was to make us go back and study and know who we were, where we came from, so that we would have a strong traditional sense of who we were, and that would give us a better sense of where we were to go in terms of our purpose in life.
Right.
You know, not just going to college or getting married, none of that stuff, but just what purpose were we born for? And once you know that, and it may take you years to find it out, but you have to continuously seek that, then you know what your purpose is here and where to go to get that purpose. And so that was just one of the sayings.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would go out, my dad would take me out what he called hunting. He would never shoot a gun around me. And we would go and sit in the woods and watch the animals. And he'd say, now you see that? This is how they build their nest. You see that? This is where they build their nest. Because it's protected from this, and he's protected from that. And all of those things taught me life lessons about how to protect myself and where I should build. And, you know, it was a wisdom of the ages. And it didn't come from man. It came from nature. It came from Creator. And it taught me a lot.
Well, that goes back to what you just said before, to pay attention to the elders, because the Indians, they already have it right. Well, that also carries back to the animals. They already have it all figured out for you.
Right.
All you have to do is listen.
Listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the earth speaks. If you have ears to hear what it's saying, it speaks loudly, and it tells you exactly what you need to know. Yeah. I look at, and so I'm a conservationist. I think most Native people are. And I look at what's going on in the destruction of our country, and everybody's crying about the storms and all the destruction that's coming with the storms and the tornadoes and things like floods. And it's just a derivative of how man has treated Mother Earth. How would you treat your mother? It's a no-brainer. So this other saying my dad had, which is really not that great to be on film, but he would say, you know, man is the only animal on the face of the planet who poops where he eats, except for a pig.
Wow. And he's right.
He's absolutely right.
Yeah.
So, you know, things like that, they're stuck in your mind.
Yeah.
And they give you wisdom when you get upon a situation that you need to know things about, or you need to understand how to operate or move or strategize. These little droplets of sayings come in and say, oh, now I know what that meant. Okay, so I'm not going there.
It's not my interview, but my mentor, Son Aguade, which means does everything with his left hand, he was like sort of the town drunk, but he was my hero. And one of his sayings that he always said was, if somebody offers you something for free, ask to see what's in his other hand.
Yeah. Yeah, we had one of those.
Do you? Yours is?
Yeah.
Similar or same?
Yeah. So when the trickster rushes you, so the trickster, you know about
Yep.
when the trickster rushes you, put up your hands, stop, don't do anything.
I wonder if you have the one, a whistling hen, no, whistling woman or a crowing hen, no good for God nor man. Don't have that one, huh? It took me forever to figure that out. Or the shortest distance between 2 points is always a straight line. But the longest distance between 2 points is usually a damn good shortcut. So I grew up on those two, and I hated him because he was always flipping them on me till finally the light bulb, after years of experience, started coming on in my head. He was right.
And you know, I used that in my younger years, like when you go to a car dealership looking for a car and people rush you.
Oh, yes.
And that stuck with me all these years. And now, as a leader, when government officials rush you or people rush you,
Got to have an answer now.
stop.
Yeah.
Don't go there. So, yeah, it's been good wisdom.
Or if you want to show anybody how intelligent you are, shut up.
Yes, exactly.
That's one I probably have to learn myself over and over and over and over.
Yeah. Yeah. So, those just a few of the things that he's imparted to me that I still use in my life.
They haunt you because they keep coming back around. You go, oh my goodness.
Because you enter situations and then all of a sudden it goes ding.
Yep.
And you go, oh, okay.
Yeah. I know what to do now.
I know what to do. Exactly. So it's really important those things get passed on to the future generations.
Yes, and that's part of what I'm trying to do because, as you know, the Indian culture is either verbal or pictorial. It's not
Right.
really written.
Right.
So when these elders pass, they take all that with them, and
They
there's
do.
no way of recovering.
I know.
Just no way. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm humbled.
One of the things that we aspire to do, if you look, are you recording?
Yeah.
Oh. This is a photograph that was taken of my tribal people in 1921 at a ceremony that they had for an anniversary of city of Fredericksburg, which is about an hour north of us. So our elders were in there, and in the display, you'll see in the background, there is a birch bark teepee.
Up here. Yeah.
And so our people used birch to make canoes and houses, and I think that's very interesting because south here, in this day and time, we don't really have birch bark, but apparently they either had it here or they traded it somehow.
And like we were talking about, the trade routes were phenomenal north and south.
Yes.
There was nothing that you couldn't order
Exactly.
and have within a season, anything that
Anything
you
you
ordered
needed, yes.
that you had money for.
Yep. That's very true.
Here we have a typical view of a village, and we're talking the year about circa 1607, and similar, very almost identical to the Mohawk longhouses that I was used to. These would be very similar longhouses. This would be a temple for worship, A, and your B is going to be your housing, and the sides are taken off, but they're normally beyond there. But you can see there were different levels in there, and these are just simply saplings, young saplings bent over and then tied at the top, and then they would put bear grease, and these folks were people of the reeds. They were people of the water. So this is a round longhouse, and this is the first one I've ever seen exactly like this. And like I said, it would be waterproofing, bear grease on the top, but this is made out of reeds. So you'd look at a typical workup of a village here. And the long stems are for the protection.
Yes.
These are trees or sap.
Palisaded village, yes, trees pointed at the top.
Wow. And this is their ceremonial house. I'll give you a quick view, and then we'll get out of her hair. So it's a beautiful installation. Here's my favorite part, the kitchen.
Oh.
And the place to eat.
Where we have all of our cooking equipment. We do a couple of powwows a year, and
Mhm.
they take the equipment out. And we just haven't put it away yet.
Now, as far as, were you more hunter-gatherers?
We were,
You had warriors, or,
We-
because a lot of tribes joined you for protection too, right, and over the years?
well, yeah. We came together. There was a place called Portabago Bay, and it was a contemporary Indian town. It was a trading town.
Mm-hmm.
And so tribes from up north and tribes from down south would come there and gather and trade and stay and then move on along their way. And so our tribe was consolidated there with two other tribes at one point, and then we were forcibly removed from that place and escorted by the army, by the militia here to this place, 3,474 acres of our last reservation.
Because you talked a moment before about rejoining the people, bringing them back
Yes.
together. And you believe that a good portion of the people went into Canada.
Some of them. So
So you're hunting them down now.
I'm hunting them
Oh,
down.
this is great.
Because who knows what traditions that they have kept over the years. And
Look at the size of this fish.
we know that we are in the season of the full circle. And so our history is coming to its fullness. Restoration is
Oh,
coming to our
wow.
people. And that means, restoration means more than you lost. And we've lost a lot.
Yes, exactly. Well, when you talk about 50,000 natives in Virginia before European intervention to what is now scattered all over the place, it's a tough journey.
When you're talking about time period here in Virginia, so we have an archaeological project on the Rappahannock right now that we're doing, and there have been spear points that have been found 250 BC.
Jeez. That's what I mean when they talk about, well, I'll tell you that story after I
So
turn it
there's
off.
the birch bark canoe.
Oh, yes. I got lucky with Huron. Oh, I'm going to let you go now. But thank you very much again. I can't thank you enough.